Hey guys, today I'd like to teach you some simple tips on how to find a mushroom biome in any Minecraft world on the PC version of Minecraft. Um, it can be very difficult to find these biomes because of just how rare they are and how few of them you'll ever find on any given world. So I've developed some techniques that I'd like to share with you today that can really make the painful process of finding one of these guys a little bit easier. Now, it's pretty simple, but it can take a while depending on just how far away uh, the Mushroom Island is from where you decide to start searching. Personally, I suggest you start searching around spawn or even the 0x0z coordinates because typically, and I don't have any proof to back this up, but it seems like you're probably guaranteed to find one between, somewhere between maybe negative 5000x negative 5000z and positive 5000x positive 5000z. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to type /kill, and because I haven't set spawn using a bed, what this is going to do is it's going to take me to the spawn chunks of this world. Now this is the same world seed as the server that I run, so you guys might recognize this little spawn village over here, and we're going to use the fact that these chunks stay loaded to our advantage in this demonstration. Now, first of all, what's one method you might think of using in order to find a mushroom biome in any given world? Well, obviously, probably the easiest way is to go into a single-player world using the same world seed as whatever world you normally would play in, or even a server in this case, and fly around and just basically look for one. Because honestly, that's really all you can do. There's really no easy way to find them other than to just look. Now, there are ways to make looking a little bit easier, and that's what we're really going to go over today. So, first and foremost, if you're going to go looking for something, you're going to want to use a map. Because if you're using a map, first of all, this is a map that is completely zoomed in, and this obviously isn't what we want to see. So what we're going to do is, in creative mode, we're going to duplicate that map by using the middle mouse key to give us a stack, and then we are going to add paper around it in order to scale it out. So let's grab a crafting table. Alright, so let's put this crafting table down and let's go ahead and scale out this map. Alright, so we're going to go all the way to level 4. There we go, yeah. Alright, we're going to grab that paper. Come on, there we go. Alright, so now when you look at the map, as you can see, it's much, much, much farther out. So this can be very useful, and since we're in creative mode, we might as well grab a potion of swiftness, even though, honestly, the speed difference is almost negligible when you're looking at the map. And you could use this so that when you fly around, it basically gives you a visual representation of places you've already visited. So you're not wasting as much time looking in the same place over and over again, wandering around aimlessly. Because the best way I would imagine to find a mushroom biome is to basically, like, let's say if we started at, in this case, negative 1,100, just so we're not at bedrock or in a mountain, and then negative 1,000, that's going to put us at the top left area of this map. And we should be a little bit off due to the fact that this map wasn't started at the 0x0z coordinates, but we're relatively close, so moving back towards, assuming I'm going the right direction, I want to be going, nope, I want to be going south. Southeast. Alright, so in doing this, very, very soon we're going to show up right in that top area of this map. And you'll be able to see pretty easily how you could sort of use this as a guide in order to, there you go, you can start seeing it generating. You could use this as your guide to basically start here and fill out the whole map. So right now, let's go ahead and take note of where we are. Right now we're at x negative 895, so we're going to round that up to 900. Okay, now what you would, kind of use this for is you would just basically fly, let's see, we're going to want to go east, and we're going to fly across the z-axis, and we're basically just going to load these chunks. And we're going to see them showing up on the map, and then once we get to the end, we'll zigzag back and forth until this whole map is done. Now, as you can see, this takes a very, very long time, and it's very boring. Now, another thing that we can do, as you saw, is we can use teleporting. So teleporting is very helpful because it can jump you to the center of, you know, the next far distance loading chunk that will basically fill up the map for you in a much quicker pattern. Now, there's a couple problems with using a map, though, because if you use a map, number one, look at how long it takes for it to actually draw the new chunks that are being loaded. And number two, and this is really the most important part, if I teleport back to the Mushroom Biome, which in this case is at 3,750, I'm going to do 100, so I'm above the mountains, and then 850. First of all, we're way off this map. And more importantly, I'd like to show you what happens when you create a map while you're at a mushroom biome, so you'll know what you're even going to see. Now, you might expect that you'd be able to kind of see this pretty clear as day, but look what happens when I make a map here. All the mycelium, which should show up as like a violet or purple color, is showing up the same as grass. And that's because the metadata or whatever in the game treats it the same as grass because it behaves in a very similar way. It's exactly how gravel will show up on a map as sand, and sandstone will show up on a map as stone. And you'll see here that the mushrooms show up as wood. Now, I know you might look at this and think, you know, that polka dot pattern shouldn't be too hard to see. So if I'm just paying attention, I'd be able to use this method and find the mushroom biome anyway. Well, this is true, except that you're not looking at this map. You know, you're not looking at this. You're looking at this when you're doing this method. So if you were to, like, let's go ahead and take this map and scale it out, because it's really unfeasible to try and use a whole bunch of these much more zoomed in maps as you're going. So if you see here, once we zoom out, I really don't care how many mushrooms are on this naturally generated mushroom biome, you're not going to be able to see them from this distance at all. I mean, the map looks like just some random normal island in Minecraft. And if you're using the teleport keys in order to help you move a lot faster, you really run the risk of missing this altogether. And then when you look back at your maps and stuff to try to find out if you had passed the mushroom biome, you're going to be out of luck because you really won't see anything to give you a visual clue that this isn't just any normal island. So with that said, let's go back to spawn. Actually, you know what? No, let's go back to Mushroom Island real quick. I'm going to introduce you to a program, if you don't already know of it. It's called, I believe it's pronounced Minutor, just like the mythical beast. It's the Latin word for miner. And I'm going to go ahead and hop in there real quick and show you. So as we saw, this is the spawn chunks, and you saw as I started zooming in, it started to load more of the chunks. So these would be the chunks from this map. When we started to move, you can see that little area in the center. Those are those chunks that we were looking around, flying around. They got loaded in here in real time as soon as we started moving around and it updated. Now, if I use View, Jump to Player, it's going to jump me over to the mushroom biome that I'm currently at. And you can see here that this looks very different from this. So there's no way that using Minutor in order to find a mushroom biome, there's no way you're gonna mistake it for just a normal island. So this is what we're going to be doing today. And by the way, I'm going to put a link for Minutor in the description. It works on Mac, PC, and Linux. So you really have no excuse to not be able to figure it out. It's one of the simplest and honestly most effective programs I've ever seen written as an add-on for Minecraft. It has a lot of cool features that I'll go into real quick, where you can, hold on one second, I gotta move the recorder, where you can view, no, not QuickTime Player, come on, where you can view it in, you can do something like show mob spawn. Now, here it's actually incorrect, because this is a mushroom island, mobs cannot actually spawn here. And as proof that this is a mushroom island and not something I just copied in with MC Editor or something, you can look in the bottom left corner and it'll show you right there that in the X, it'll show you X and Z coordinates, and then it'll also show you the biome and the block your mouse is hovering over. Now, if I was to go ahead and jump to spawn, you'll see here, basically the purple shows you where mobs can spawn. And mobs can't spawn on these brown parts because these are stairs. So obviously, as mobs can't spawn on stairs, but they can spawn on full blocks. So because there's full blocks here, you can see that they can spawn here. And it's just a very useful thing. And you can also use this there's all sorts of great things you can use. But you can use this slider, and it'll show you a cross-section of the world from this level. So once I get closer to like 60, you'll see I'm going to start going into the cave systems. There you go. And there you can actually see, almost right underneath the church is that zombie spawner that I've talked about in some of my videos. Anyway, so that's just some of the functionality and things about this, but definitely the best part about it is that it updates things in real time as you play. So I'm going to go ahead and hop back into Minecraft, and we are going to teleport back towards the spawn village, or just the spawn chunks in general. Oh my god, I think it's this way. Yeah. All right. So because spawn chunks stay loaded 100% of the time, you can use that to your advantage and make a let's make some scaffolding over here and make a command block that's going to teleport us so we don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff. We can really just sit back and watch. So what you want to do to get a command block is you're going to type in /give and then your player name and then item ID 137, and that'll give you a command block. So now I'm going to put the command block down, and before, as I said, when you teleport, you give it X, Y, and Z. But if you add this little guy, the button, if you hold Shift and press the button above your Tab key, and then you start typing in a number, what this is going to do is instead of teleporting me to X100, it's going to teleport me from where I am to 100 blocks in addition to where I was. So, like, for instance, if I were to go to here and teleport to this coordinate, right now you can see that I'm at X100, Y90, and Z100. So if I was to type in teleport, add that little squiggly line, and then type in 150 for X, and then add the squiggly line and type in 0 for Y and 0 for Z, what this is going to do is it's going to teleport me an additional 150 blocks. So when I hit enter, it's going to teleport me to X250, and then it's going to ignore Y and ignore Z. So if I go ahead and hit enter, as you can see, I just got teleported to 250X, and then I remained at Y90 and Z100. Now, very similar to that, if you were to put a subtraction sign here, it'll teleport you, it'll subtract this number of blocks from your current location. So in doing this, now I'm right back where I was. All right, so we're going to use this principle, and the number I have found that is most efficient, at least for me, was 250, because when you're in a far render distance, from where you are, there's basically about 128 blocks this way, 128 blocks, basically in all directions that is being loaded as you're playing. So 250 is a pretty decent compromise, especially since it divides really well with 1000. So I'm going to go ahead and type in /teleport, and then I'm going to type in 250 with the little squiggly line, so so it knows that I want to go an additional 250 blocks in the X direction, and then I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to ignore Y and ignore Z. All right, and then we're going to create a clock with a little bit of delay on it, and I found that 3 repeaters seems to be 3 repeaters on full delay seems to be the minimum that you should use, and you actually can just have a rapid pulse that's going to teleport you every 10 times every second, but the game will actually wait to teleport you until some of the chunks around you are generated, and this way kind of just ensures that the chunks you're at are getting generated so that when we jump back into Minutor, we can easily see what's going on. So if I were to take a lever here And by the way, I typed in, oh, you know what? I forgot to put it in here. This is important. You got to type in player name here. And since I'm the only one doing this, I'm going to put in my player name. You could use @P, you could use @R, and if you're the only one on this world, it's still going to find you. But I just figured I don't want it to have to search for a random player or the nearest player. I'll just have it go directly to me. Now, if you did use @A, if you had more than one person helping you do this, you could change the parameters a bit and get this done a lot quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it to teleport me, and it's going to add 250 blocks in X, and then it's going to basically ignore Y and Z. All right, so we're going to start this clock, and you can see it's going to hit it. Now I teleported, and if I wait a second, it's going to teleport me again. There you go. So now, what you're going to want to do is, now, first of all, you don't want to hit escape, because that's going to pause the game and stop the command block from teleporting anymore. So what you want to do is you either want to hit slash or you want to hit T in order to get into the chat window. So you have free roam of the mouse again, so you can jump back into Minutor. And Minutor, as I start moving, is updating to show me the new chunks that are getting loaded as the command block is moving me. And as you can see, not only is this way easier to see what's going on, but it's also much faster than using a map. Now, as you can see here, though, we're going in a straight line, and that's very aimless and not very helpful. So when I was looking for the mushroom biome on our server, using this very same method, by using a single-player world with the same world seed, what I did was I teleported myself after I got the clock moving, and I got, a constant teleportation and 250 additional blocks in the X direction. I teleported myself to negative 2000X, 100Y, negative 2000Z. Alright? So now, again, you don't want to hit escape. You want to hit T or the slash in order to be able to move your mouse and have it continue to teleport you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go view and I'm going to go jump to player. Why does it still think I'm there? Okay, actually, it thinks I'm there because I haven't logged out yet. So if I log back out and then log back in, now it's going to start teleporting me again, and Minutor is going to be able to find me. So when I go jump to player, oh, you know what? I got to reload this. Now we jump to player. There we go. So now, as it's teleporting me 250 blocks every couple of seconds, I've basically created my threshold of, I decided I wanted to look all the way from negative 2000X, negative 2000Z, all the way to positive 2000X, positive 2000Z, which is basically 4,000 square blocks. And, it takes a while. You know what? I hit escape. So when I hit T, got to remember that. So it'll keep moving you. So now as I wait here, it's going to start teleporting me again. Come on. I wonder if I... No, I'm getting teleported. Let's see. Come on, guy. Where am I right now? I'm at negative 2000, negative 2000. There we go. There we are. All right. So as you can see, it works like a charm. It really shows you the world in real time, basically. And what you'll do is you'll just sit here and watch it as it moves. All right. And now if you look down at the bottom left corner again, you'll see the coordinates for X and Z. So let's say hypothetically, and I don't want to actually wait till we get there because it's going to take a while, but let's say that hypothetically, and as you can see right now in my X coordinates, I'm already at basically X negative 250 is like right there. So I'm already at X negative 250, which means that the next jump is going to be at X0. So we're already halfway from negative 2000X to positive 2000X. So let's just say that we got at least 2 positive 2000X or farther. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to jump back into Minecraft. And you want to type in this very simple command. You're going to type in teleport, and you're going to tell it to go back to the, kind of like a typewriter. You're going to go back to the start. So you're going to go back to the start of X, and then you're going to tell it to ignore Y, or you could even just do 100Y or whatever number you want. I just like to be able to see the world generating instead of being stuck in the mountain or something. And then we're going to tell it to go, we're going to ask it to add 250 blocks to our z coordinate. So what that's going to do is it's going to take us from negative 2000 z, and it's going to take us to negative 1750. So if I go ahead and hit enter, and we jump back into Minutor, let's go ahead and let these chunks load. You can see just while I was typing that in, all these chunks got loaded. Now, when we hit that button, or when we enter that command, it jumped me down here. And here you can see the next strip is starting. So basically, if you were to do this long enough, you'd get a square all the way from negative 2000 to positive 2000 positive 2000. Now that's actually exactly what I did when I was looking for the mushroom biome on the server seed, but I didn't find it in those coordinates. So I broadened my search from there to incorporate negative 4000 to negative 4000. And you know, honestly, if you wanted to, you might benefit from starting there. I don't have any proof to back it up, but it seems to me that mushroom biomes are more or less always within 5,000 blocks from spawn. So it's not a bad idea to start there instead of going, and doing, negative 1,000 or negative 2,000. All right, so here you can see, we're on our second strip, and if you had, let's say you had 2 players who were on the server, and you had one person starting at negative 2,000, negative 2,000, and here you can see in the z coordinate, if I'm at around negative 2,000, there's actually chunks all around that getting loaded. It's not like this is negative 2,000. And that's because when the player's here, these are the chunks that get loaded, the ones around him. But if you were to have one player here and another player here, and have once you would get to the end, and you would just type in, instead of typing in this command that we did before, where we'd have it move us down 250 blocks, you would have it move you down 500 blocks. And that way, you could have 2 of these strips forming at the same time, and you could get done with this twice as quickly. Okay, so as you can see, this might take a little bit of time, but this is a definite way you can find a mushroom biome. It's not that hard. I think it took me, and when I was looking, I was sort of figuring things out, how to use the program and stuff, and I hadn't really perfected the technique. It took me probably between 4 to 6 hours of just sitting here watching it load to see where the mushroom biome was. But one of the cool things about this is that I also found about 50,000 witch huts. So that was very helpful as well, just to kind of see a bunch of them. And we were able to find one, in fact, that was surrounded almost entirely by water, that if we were, in fact, going to go ahead and make a witch farm, that would be like the most ideal location. In fact, here's a witch hut right here. So you can see that's what it's going to look like. It's very easy to spot. Anyway, so I hope this has been helpful. I hope you guys find all the mushroom biomes you need, and I hope it doesn't take as long for you, because it can take a while. Alright, I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.